Welcome to Andy D. Cole's podcast. Please like, share and subscribe.
Welcome to Andy D. Cole's podcast. Press like and subscribe.
Welcome to Andy Decodes. Sit back and enjoy as we dive deeper down into the rabbit hole and into the unknown.
Hello, welcome to today's show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and whatever else, wherever you are. So Tommy cannot be with us yet again. He has another birthday. So tough, isn't it?
Tough cookies. I'm here.
But apparently it's the last birthday. All these birthdays are running in January. So it's all good until whenever. But yeah, he'll be back on next week. So I'm joined by Nicole. Thank you for coming on. And our guests tonight are Jane and Gerald. So Jane is Chi-Rho Sounds and Gerald is Midwest Night Watchers. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
No, it's been great. We're trying to do this for so long, trying to get you on, and then it's just, yeah, you're on now. You're going to be on again.
Yep.
When I do the 25-hour stream, because you guys you're going to come on, but you're also going to come on and co-host with me.
Yep.
Right.
So
we look forward to it.
It should be good. It's going to be effing amazing. Is what it's going to be. So yeah, we're going to talk about a few different things tonight. For those that don't know, the new start time is 8:30 p.m. UK time, 3:30 p.m. EST, and that's 12:30 noon PST. And I don't know Mountain Time, so I'm going to stop there. So we're doing it now. So it's going to be. That's on Wednesday and Friday. That's going to be 8:30 till 10. If it goes over towards the 2-hour mark and the guests are all right with it, then we'll go over and do the 2 hours. It just gives us more time to get started. It gives Nicole a chance to go home, get started, and do the podcast. Actually sat at a desk and not sat behind the steering wheel. So it's slightly more comfortable for her. So it's all good.
Now you have something about a paranormal blog.
What's that? Sorry,
blog?
A paranormal blog.
What I'm gonna.
You posted
Me.
it. Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, right. I'm glad you reminded me because I nearly forgot. So I was contemplating shutting the website down, only because I'm only using it at the moment to promote the YouTube channel, and then when we got investigating, putting videos and images up. But I was chatting to one of my mates. Sorry, I was just reading one of the comments. I was chatting to one of my mates, and we kind of came up with an idea of doing a paranormal blog on the website. So I'm going to be setting up I'm going to start off with one page, see how it goes. I want to set up 2, maybe 3 pages of either I'm not going to be doing this. There's other people that are going to be writing. So they're going to write it, send it to me. I'm going to put it up on the website. So they're going to write stuff, but there's a couple of people that are going to be doing the research and going in depth into stuff and putting it on there. So I don't know if it's going to be weekly, once a fortnight or once a month. It's just going to be as and when. And then once we get into the routine of doing it, hopefully it'll go that way. But I wanted to talk to Nicole about it as well, because with her Full Moon Paranormal, if you wanted to put anything on there from that. So any investigations you're going to be going to, you can more than happy to put them in there.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where you got it from. I wondered how you, because George always put it in the private message.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
I
So
saw that you
that's
put it out on
hopefully
Facebook.
that's going to start not next week, the week after. Just give me a chance to. So iron all the creases out basically, and just pinpoint exactly what we're going to be doing. So I'm just going to say hello to everyone in the chat. I don't want to be sat there typing away all night. So hi, Miss Gilly B, Gilly B, sorry, got it right this week. Raymond, Castle Dude, Stuart Farrington, Fred Flintstone, Dogman, Joe, nickname, Sober Carper, Michelle, Margaret. So yeah, quite a lot in tonight. So I was talking to Jane and Gerald off air, and I was just going to mention to them about an encounter that happened with me yesterday in my own house.
What
Oh.
I'm in on my own. It was wow weird. So the layout of the house, the kitchen and the stairs and that are at the front of the house. The living room and dining room, they're at the back of the house. So you're going through the front door, past the stairs, into the kitchen. Then there's another door on the other side of the kitchen that leads into the living room. So I'm stood, believe it or not, this is a true story. I'm stood at the sink washing up. Right?
That's the paranormal
TV's
part.
not on. Yeah. The TV's not on. There's no music on. There's nothing playing. The phone's not. I've got the phone near me in case anyone rang. And that was it. There's no other sound. The dogs were in the living room. They're both asleep. So I'm stood there washing up, and right behind me, I'd say no more than 10 foot away from me. So as I'm stood at the sink, behind me and to my left is a door going into the hallway, and directly behind me, about another 3 foot further down, is a door going into the living room. And I heard a little laughy, chuckle, giggle. Do you know like Alvin and they do that little squeaky, like when we were having the healing the other week, and it was all, it was a laugh like that lasted a couple of, and I'm like, I don't know if I said it out loud, but I went, oh, not effing fairies. That straight away is what I thought.
Wow.
And it was, yeah, nothing happened again after. And that's the first time I've heard a noise in the house that wasn't anyone. And there was only me in there.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So if you had anything,
It came, I could hear it.
Or anything move around?
No, I could hear it behind me. No, it was clear as day. A little like chipmunk laugh. That's the only way I can explain it.
Wow.
And I just thought, oh, fairies. Straight away.
Do you think it was because we did that interview the other day and we're talking about
possibly, but then I kind of like started laughing to myself in my head because I thought of that when Kate was on. So it could have been that, and it could be because I kind of like I'm going down that path now with my encounters, and it kind.
See, that's when we started having little orbs and stuff floating around behind us on the lives. Is when we had Steve Stockton on, we were talking about fairies one night and little people, and we just started having this stuff to start appear behind us, and I mean it happened for a long time.
Yeah, and then it just stopped.
Yeah. So it, like I said, nothing happened afterwards. I just carried on washing up, and that was it.
You'll have
to interesting to see if it keeps happening.
Yeah.
You'll have to pay attention to see if you start missing like change or coins or something moving around where you can't find them where you think you left them last, because they like to be tricksters and have fun.
Oh yeah, I'll be sat here. So to my right is my computer desk. Yeah. I've got the PC there and my monitor, and then it's like big L shape. I'll be sat here doing like something. I'll put something down. I'll turn, do something else, come back, and it's not there. And it's like I've not even stood up. I've not moved. I've not
Wow.
done nothing. And I'll be sat, and it's like, where's it gone? So I'll get up, I'll walk to the end, and I'll look to check it all out. Soon affair, come and sit back down, and it'll be there in front of me. So, yeah. That's
Jane, you
happened a
had
few
to
times.
tell them about your voice that you heard. That kind of goes right along with it.
Yeah, it actually does. This summer, I do a lot of instruments outside. I'll either do Native American drums, flutes, my hand pan, tongue drums, but I like using tuning forks, tuning pipes. So this summer I came out and got this 528 hertz whistle. And it's just this little pitch pipe that you put in your mouth. And when you're meditating, you breathe in your nose and then you blow out and it will make that sound. So then I went, oh, this is kind of cool. So I got a guitar tuner, a violin tuner, and then I got, well, it's actually right here. I'll show it to you. It's what choir directors use before they do a song. See that right there?
All right.
Mhm.
And so they'll blow a tune, and then the choir will go and then they start the song. Well, I'm in the backyard just laughing and giggling, going doing two of them,
Yeah.
and so then I started going, I'm saying hello. So then the next night I'm sitting out there all nice and quiet. 1:00 in the morning, we have a second driveway that goes back to the barn where our animals are. And on the other side of those pine trees, pitch quiet, 1 in the morning, our neighbors are old, so they wouldn't be outside. I hear this audible hello, and it sounded like a robot. It spooked me. It sounded just like this. I went, hello. So I went inside. Gerald looked at me and he said, what's the matter? I looked white as a ghost. And I said, I just heard something say hi. And so by that time we went to bed. It was about bedtime. So it dawned on me. I heard something in my mind saying, well, that's what you said the night before. And that's what you sounded like. And I went, oh my gosh, that is exactly what I was saying. So I don't know if it was Sasquatch or fairy or what, but it was an audible, loud hello. So they were responding to this crazy little thing, but I don't know what it was.
So what's your take on the Fae then, while we're talking about it?
I think the Fae, they're all connected. I think the mushrooms are connected. I think trees and the root system is connected.
Yes.
The Fae are connected with all the trees. We've heard stories of Sasquatch turning into trees or a stump and walking away. I think it's all connected.
Yeah. So do you think them Bigfoot, Sasquatch are part of the Fae environment?
Well, I think they're a part of the elemental system. I know some people say that Sasquatch is a Fae, but I don't know if they're actually would be considered Fae. I think they use the system of it, like the root system and the trees.
They know how it works.
They all communicate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They belong to the same realm.
Yeah, they have the understanding where we don't.
So you have your wood elements, your water elements, your sprites and all that. So if Sasquatch and Dogman or whatever cryptid you think of, if they've been here, they really, I think they are the original native people to this land. I think Bigfoot and all them have been here forever. So they obviously know about elementals and how they work, and especially if they're tapped into the supernatural aspect of it. So I think they know how to channel them and use them, whether they open up portals through trees or however they disappear, because you hear all these experiences where Bigfoot will be spotted and all of a sudden it goes behind a tree, then it's gone.
Right.
So did it use the wood elemental, the tree elemental to disappear, or does it know how to tap into nature and vanish? Or
right. Do they just pop in the orbs? It's not really going in the portals. They could be popping in the orbs and just taking off. And that's why you don't see them anymore.
Yeah, because that's one of my things with the wood knocks. So
I
always thought with the wood knocks, they're not actually communicating, because if they can use mind speak or howl across God knows how many miles. What
Yeah.
do they need to tap on trees for? Are they tapping on the trees to see if that tree is viable for what they need to use it for? Is it
Right. I've
they're
heard
tapping
that.
on it like we doing the Chi-Rho sounds? When they tap
Mhm.
on, is it giving out the right frequency so that they can harmonize with it and use it as, say, a portal or a gateway?
Right.
Yeah,
Or
or
they're
it
just
could be a more
communicating and letting people know that someone's in the woods. I mean, it could be used for many different reasons.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
yeah.
or a more ritualistic thing. We have no idea what they use it for.
Right.
Right.
So
I
we
mean, there's
don't
just
need
so
to hit
and
drums, but we do.
every time we think of something, you know, we think, oh, well, that makes sense. Well, then it just opens up more questions and we don't really
Yeah.
know the answers. We just try to think, okay, what makes sense to us? That's why we like listening to everybody's experiences, you know, whether it's
Yeah.
about Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman, whatever. We like taking little bits and pieces of, oh, well, that kind of explains what we experience. So we kind of add that to our story, thinking, you know, it helps us make sense in our own mind when we try to
Right.
tell somebody.
Yeah. Well, it's like if I hear like part of a theory, then I'll redo it. So it's like for myself, and it's like I like that theory. I'm going to stick with it.
Mhm.
And 2 days later, someone will come up with another one. I'm like, well, that's that gone straight
Yeah.
away. It's
And
like
that's me. I have
dismissed.
100 theories about everything.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
they all kind of fit, and none of them are
And
100%
they all
right.
contradict the other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Every
not just
single one.
fairies, it's little people, it's gnomes, I mean, there's all kinds of different characters, I guess, and they're not just a little flying fairy. So, I mean, you can call a fairy or a fae, you know, it
Yeah.
could be all kind. I mean, we're hearing so many stories of little people, itty
Yeah.
bitty little people.
Yeah, but when
Well,
I
we
was
were-
asking Kate Hago Ray when she was on last week about what's the largest fae folk person type thing that she's been given an account about, and she said bigger than a house. Now,
Oh, wow.
inside, I was hoping she was going to say something like that because straight away I thought troll. That was the first. I was already thinking troll before she said it. Then I thought, well, if she doesn't say that, then I've got nothing. And she did, and then it's like everything else in between. So
Yep. So I mean, you
just,
go all the way from little people, you know, they could be inches tall, 7, 8 inches, all the way up, you know,
yeah,
in elementals and fairies or fae, fae folk. You can go all the way up to troll size and ogre size. So I mean, I guess
Right.
Bigfoot or Sasquatch could fit in that realm, but I
Yeah.
just think they're related and they work together at, you know, as a I don't know. They
unit?
have a connection with them that they use each other for skills and
yeah, they're all
Hmm.
like they live in the same realm. I just picture a massive meadow with woods and a lake, and all these different cryptids just there
Yeah.
hanging about, waiting for their time to come over here and
yeah.
annoy us or do whatever they do to the humans before they go back. That's
We were doing
just how I picture it.
We were doing our live stream on late nights, the Night Owl Lounge, we like to call it, where we just chat with everybody in chat. And somebody got a hold of us and told us that they think there's little people out in the field and on our property that's like 7, 8 inches tall. So they think that's what we're seeing, like little glimmers or orbs because of them.
We see all kinds of orbs with night vision binoculars, and even with our outside cameras. We got a lot of security cameras now, and we have the IR on it, and it's picking up orbs. 31 degrees outside. It can't be bugs. And if there's no dust, I know what dust looks like inside the barn. You can see what dust looks like. So I'm ruling out, okay, it's not windy. It can't be dust. There's no bugs when it's 30 some degrees. These have to be the orbs that I'm seeing from the field.
Yeah.
And they're interacting with the camera. I mean, we just put a new camera up behind the barn, and all I'm seeing is these little things like, oh, what is that? Oh, that's something new. It's like they're checking out the camera.
Yeah. Probably. Because
And I don't know what they are. I mean, we're not experts. I don't know what, I can't say definitely. They're orbs. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, another theory is that they can see when it switches to IR on the night vision, they can see the red lights.
Yes.
And apparently intrigues them.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then at night, I try to turn them off And just
We're
in
just
case
hoping that one of
Sasquatch or
them will
something come
actually
up.
show up right in front of the camera and actually give us a good picture of what
Yeah.
it is, instead of zipping by and fading in and out. And
Yeah. But I was speaking to a guy. It was when I was on my other Facebook profile before it got shut down by Zuckerberg. I'm still going to blame him. And there's a guy, and he was saying that he lives in an apartment like somewhere in the south of the US, like Tennessee, around that area, like one of the southern states, and he sees all these orbs, and he does EVPs, but he slows it down so he can hear them speaking. And apparently he
Oh.
spoke to him, and in these orbs are only like about an inch tall, and he says I don't know if he'd been smoking anything, but this is what he was saying. And he said you could see what looked like little Native Americans inside these orbs.
Mm.
And he said that's what a lot of the orbs are. Whether it's the soul that they've passed on, or it's just another dimension for them to go into.
I agree. It could be animals. It could be fae. We have one orb. I've been trying to take some still shots with my binoculars. We have one that looks like a Sasquatch sitting inside the orb, like he's driving it around. It looks just like a Sasquatch inside this orb. So I think they all kind of use their energy and pop into an orb and just travel. So it could be past loved ones, past pets.
Yeah.
There could be so many things that these orbs are.
could be Native Americans that have passed away on our land.
Yeah. But have you heard of a guy called Costa Macreus?
No.
He's been on the show a couple of times. He does the ET Let's Talk.
No,
I'll try and find the details. I'll send them on to you.
When you showed that picture of the orb with the Hat Man.
No, this is orbs. So they're taking photos and there's nothing showing. So he says like, look, I wanna, please, can you show yourselves and do all these like the highest, brightest light and like the most positive form of the phenomenon and all that. And he starts waving his arms. They took 3 photos, and on first photo nothing, second photo there's millions of orbs like bubbles all around it. You can see. I don't know if it could be pareidolia. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. What look like little faces inside the orbs.
Oh, cool. So we just got these outdoor cameras this fall, and it was already starting to get chilly. I can't wait until it warms up again, and I'm outside for hours and hours. Yeah, I want to experiment, like go out by the field, which is not our field, by the way, but we go out by the field in our backyard and just stand there and see if these orbs from the cameras come around me and interact.
Have you tried
I can't wait to keep investigating next year.
Talking to the orbs, like maybe leaving something out for them, being like, okay, come over here and interact with this.
I've got a whiteboard that I've been, we used it one time. We want to see if there's scribbles or if they interact with the whiteboard. And I do talk to them all the time. I get on the microphone with these cameras and I'll say, hello, my friends. I love you. I see you. And then you can just kind of see them interact with the camera. It's so interesting.
That's cool.
But Nicole, you have orbs, don't you, in that room that you're sat in now? Because when I first interviewed you, you had the cat. You was known as a cat ball lady for quite a while.
Yeah, we got cat balls.
On the shelf behind you. And we've seen what looked like a few hours, but then you started talking about them. And you've had it quite. Has it been happening recently? Did you say?
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple weeks ago that we had that big one.
Oh wow!
Before we went live, of course.
It's always before you go live.
And goes over there, and then people were seeing like a shadow by that light.
Interesting.
The other night we're sitting there watching YouTubes or whatever, like we always do in the evening, whoever's show or whatever we're interested in at the time. Yeah. And we have our kitchen, then we have like a sunroom or a back porch that's enclosed, and there's a screen door, and we heard that storm door jiggle.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there's nothing out in our sunroom. There's nothing outside. We got cameras out now. There's nothing there, but something jiggled that door, and it wasn't windy. It's not stormy. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. It's just another one of those things.
Yeah. Did the cameras not pick it up, or have you not got any pointing at that?
It wasn't pointing towards it. Yeah, I instantly got on that one camera and zipped it over, and I saw nothing over there by the door.
No,
because most of our cameras aren't fixed. We've bought the 360s where they can spin around and up and down, so we can check out different areas and show animals or whatever shows up in our yard, or even point them to the night sky. We have one that we can point up and follow constellations and record.
Mm-hmm.
So those cameras make it difficult because they don't show the whole area at the time unless we have it pointed towards something.
Ah.
And we do have stray cats, but I did not see the little black and white guy because he likes to go and do his little marking on our screen door. Well, I instantly went over there. I did not see that stray cat in the backyard walking away, so it could not have been him.
Oh.
But it definitely sounded like something was shaking the door.
Yeah. Did you hear anything else? Any strange smells? Any other noise?
I've had a strange smell in the house once.
What was that?
Was that not Gerald?
No, I mean my dog was on him. My dog was on my lap. She was totally covered up with the blanket, and it was about the time we were having activity out in the barn, and we were talking to Robin McCrae that does Mind Speak with Sasquatch, and she was saying that they've been out in the barn, and so I smelled like a sulfur sewer smell. And I was like, okay, what is that? Well, my dog woke up from a dead sleep, got out of the blanket and was sniffing. So she even smelled it. And then it just disappeared. And then shortly after that, it was like last fall. That's when the activity kind of went quiet for a few months. So I don't know if they came inside. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. I mean, the girl didn't fart, and the dog didn't.
Not that he's admitting to, anyway.
And it was, the dog, waking up from a dead sleep, smelling something. So we've had that happen. I've had lights turn on and off out in the barn during that time.
Yeah. So are you out in the sticks then?
We are on the very edge. We're in a tiny little town, but we're on the very edge of town. We're on the north side of town. So all we've got is nothing but fields. We don't have anybody behind us. No neighbors, just fields.
Do you ever wonder how many
we actually have a partial field in front of us? It was going to be a subdivision, but they never developed it, so it just stayed a farmer's field. So the field in front of us, when we go out there and film, we never have any activity. No orbs, no nothing. But
I don't see orbs with my binoculars.
Orbs or portals and stuff show up.
No.
It's the backyard, and we did see a possible portal one time also. And this was several years ago. And if anyone knows about ATM binoculars, they're not cheap. So I'm out there and I'm checking out orbs along the tree line by this field. And I saw this square, and it looked like a glitch in the matrix. I mean, just a square and just looked glitchy, but it was moving along the tree line. And I was getting ready to record it, and it fried out our binoculars totally. We had to send them into the company, and they gave us a new pair.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I wish I could have filmed it.
So it was like that predator effect. Sorry, Nicole.
Yeah, it just kind of looked glitchy. Yeah, but it was a square and it was moving along.
Did you ever look up like the history of your property or anything like that?
No, we haven't.
We know there's a lot of Native Americans. There's a lot of history of Native Americans around here.
We've just been told by somebody that they know that the Fae or the little people and possibly Sasquatch comes to our area because there's a valuable mineral that they use that's down inside of our field or the field behind us. It's not ours.
And there's a train track over there along those trees. So there's all kinds of reports of orbs and Sasquatch running along train tracks. So that could be a possibility also.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I've got to put that up. It's quite funny.
Cute Brian.
Couldn't resist. That was funny.
Cute Brian.
So if anybody wants to go to Midwest Night Watchers on YouTube, they can see we upload these videos. We have one where it looks like an orb or an energy field is starting. Have you ever seen those Tesla balls where you touch it and the spark comes up, the electricity comes up your hand?
Yeah,
that's exactly what it looked like in the tree out back in the field.
Yeah, that was another possible portal. So we had the square one, then we had this thing just appear on the top of the tree and just kind of shimmer like little lightnings. I mean, it was weird. And I, as much as I have been filming orbs, I would have seen something over there if it was a regular light or something like that. But yeah, it just happened. Like, what is that? We've had so many people analyze it, break it down, slow motion. We can't debunk it at all. I don't know what it was. It looked like it was a portal opening up.
Yeah. Have you got any sound recording equipment out there?
I do, but we need to. Yeah. We need to start recording. I've got a digital recorder, plus all these cameras now that we have will record, and they have sound.
Because I was told, like I was saying, that guy, if you can get the audio from it, extract the audio, put it on the computer, laptop, whatever, and then play it back, but do it at a slower speed, apparently you can hear what they're saying because the frequency is too high. So if you slow it right down, you get a better baseline on it. I don't know how true it is. I've just not done it because I've never picked anything up.
Yeah, we're going to start doing more investigation, not only the field behind us and stuff, but we bought a 360 camera, an Insta360, so we can start going out on the trails and in the woods and start recording. And people should be able to move their phone or tablet or whatever they're watching on and see all around us. So if they might be able to catch something happening that we don't see.
Right.
Yeah.
We just have to wait for warm weather now.
I know. Send some over here because I'm sure you're going to get it before us.
Well, we'll probably still venture out as long as it's not a great big snowstorm or something. We're not afraid to go out in the cold. We'll probably still head out.
Yeah.
Have you guys gone out there with any kind of equipment like REM pods and sensors and stuff like that to see if there's any kind of anomalies there?
Yeah, we did have the cat ball go off a couple times last summer. And yeah, we've got REM pod, we've got EMFs, we've got the cat balls. I use dowsing rods a lot also. I mean, so we've got all this equipment.
Yeah.
We actually went out. It was probably midnight or so for us. And we went out in the field and walked it, and we had the EMF meters and all that stuff. We had the spirit talker on our phone going, trying to talk to people. We had some pretty good stuff, but nothing really appeared to us or really a clear voice or anything. Just active on the app and active on the EMF meter once in a while.
Yeah. Nicole, what was you saying before? You just started talking when Gerald did. Sorry. I thought he was going to ask a question.
Oh, I can't remember now.
Oh, it's all right. Because I was just going to say, have you tried using just plain white noise and seeing if that picks anything up?
No.
Oh, you mean like a spirit box?
No, you can do it. Do it on Spotify because I listen to it a lot when I'm trying to go to sleep. Because we've got a road at the back of the house. You get motorbikes and all that going up and down at stupid o'clock. So if I put the white noise on, it does help cancel a lot of the background noise out. So you can just do it on Spotify. I think Dr. Sounds or something it's called. You just play it on that, but that can be used to pick up if you're doing EVP, it can come through on that.
Yeah, because we got a spirit box too, but it's kind of annoying when you hear all the all the little sounds. But I do have a Sony digital recorder. We should just go out there and just click and see if anything responds.
Yeah. Well, I'm either gonna invest or I'm gonna put together my own parabolic dish so we can start picking up and pinpointing sounds, because we keep thinking we're hearing sounds, but they could be coyotes, they could be foxes. We have them in the area, but we just want to narrow the sound down and have a good recording of it. So we're going to put a parabolic dish together or buy one. I don't know what we're going to do yet.
Yeah. No, right. Have you got any questions, Nicole, before we do the ones in the chat?
Oh, let's hit the ones in the chat. I'm sure it'll bring up, 15 more questions as they always do.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I'll do the first one, if that's okay. So this is from Castle Dude. He's asking, Jane, have you tried repeating the whistle thing?
Oh, yeah. Several different times. I even click on the microphone on these cameras and I've been doing it. I actually did it last night. So yeah, I have not heard any audible hello back, but I'm still messing around with these different sounds.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Do you want to do the next one, Nicole?
Mm-hmm. Do you think that orb sightings are on the rise? That one's from Nickname.
I say yes, because I think everyone's raising their frequency and vibration and energy level, and we're waking up more and more people are seeing UFOs, orbs. I mean, I think everything's opening up.
See, you also got to consider that we believe that the earth itself is changing. I think the resonance of the earth is changing. We're getting ready to go either into a higher dimension, or the earth itself is just changing somehow. And I think it's opening up, and like you say, thinning the veil, or we're able to pierce the veil, like our name after our show we have on Midwest Night Watchers. So I think people are starting to see more and more stuff just because the earth is changing. And I think people are also changing along with it.
Mm-hmm.
See, that made me think of another question. So with orbs, what makes you guys think it's a valid orb, as opposed to dust? What's kind of your criteria?
Probably the experience of how often we've been doing it and how many years. You can pick up what a bug looks like. A bug is usually solid white. And orb, when I'm seeing something translucent that you can see through, you can see the star behind it. And when it comes up to the camera and just disappears or appears in front of the camera, dust would not act like that. Bugs wouldn't act like that. We even have bats. So you can tell the difference between a bat. And like I said, dust it floats around more. You just kind of see a difference between dust and bugs. Like my main thing is if it's translucent, if it just looks like it's almost kind of like it's out of focus. But if you can see something behind it, that's where I'm thinking that's got to be an orb.
We have lots of footage though of inside our barn. We put cameras in there just so when we have our late night chats, we can show our goats or chickens act up, and have something to talk about. So we'll turn on the spotlights or the lights of the barn, and it'll illuminate all the dust and particles floating in and out. So we have lots of footage to know what exactly is dust and compared to what we're seeing out in the field or things like that.
Right.
Cool.
Plus, you just get that feeling. You just get that. I don't know if it's
don't you?
Resonating with you, but you just get that feeling. It's like, oh, that's something different. That's not what we normally see.
Or the way they're acting, they move does not look like what a bug would do.
Yeah.
And so you just can't explain. Floating dust would not just go and stop and then go a different direction. Or I see them go straight up in the field and then take off. Or they're floating along and stop and just go. Bugs don't do that. Have you not noticed
though? Orbs move very similar to how these UFOs are reported to move. So is that a connection?
And we just,
I think so. I mean, you always see them following airplanes or military aircraft.
Yeah.
And, I mean, not only did the UFOs follow them, but then the orbs follow the UFOs. So, I mean, I don't know how they're connected, but they always seem to show up together.
Yeah. Do you guys know of someone called Richard Lenny? He's in the UK.
No.
He's on Facebook. He's always posting stuff of these orbs following planes and that. And he sent me details on how to make a camera so you can spot orbs in daylight. So and someone put it in the chat before, but his is slightly different. Use a night vision camera in the day, but you have a UV filter on the front, and apparently that picks it up.
Oh, interesting.
I've got both, but I've just not tried it yet.
See, I've caught a lot of orbs or lights or whatever they are. Yeah, when you see an airplane, I'll watch the airplane and I'll look around that area and you'll see something following it or going in front of it. Yeah, they mess with these pilots. They've got to see things. They're not allowed to say.
Yeah. It's just strange how these orbs are very similar movement to how UFOs are reported to move.
Yeah.
It's just too coincidental.
They're just tiny, tiny UFOs.
Yeah.
I mean, even on our channel, we posted one that we took of the backfield where you see an orb and it looks like a rod coming and it goes right into the white orb and it doesn't come out the other side, doesn't go anywhere, and the orb just kind of continues going. So it's almost like it absorbed it or they're in conjunction with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly. Just before we go to the next question, I'm going to do the next 5 membership gifting.
Oh,
nice.
boy. Oh boy.
If you're in the chat, so you have to be subbed to the channel for you to get it. It will last for 1 month and it's on the middle tier. So I shall press it now. So good luck to whoever gets it. And there we go.
Good luck, everyone.
In your favor.
Good luck. Boom.
So
Fiona, no,
we got
the 5. So we've got Brandy Haywood, Stuart Farrington, Lee Alsop, Melanie Hazen, and 4023.
Ooh, congratulations. Woohoo.
Nice.
So anyway, moving on now. Yeah, you get 10 to give away every month, so I think it's better to do it at the beginning of the month. That way, then I know when it's done.
Yep.
So
Very
it's all
cool.
good. Right. Next question then, and this is. Oh, we've done that one. So this is from Sober Carper, and he is asking, "Hi guys, have you ever had any phenomena cause damage to your property or yourself?"
Nope. Not damage.
Just the night binoculars that fried out when we thought we were going to record the portal or when James was going to record it.
I guess that would be it. Yeah, my ATM binoculars fried out.
That counts.
Yeah,
so
I'm so glad I replaced them.
Yeah, that's great. Props to the company for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most places wouldn't even touch them, would they? Something like that happened.
I mean, I had a hard time doing it. I kept emailing them and talking to them, and then one day I just happened to get a hold of somebody. Says, "Oh yeah, sure, just send them in." And they gave me a return address sticker and everything free of charge. And I sent them in. They sent new ones back.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good going. That.
All right.
Right. Should we do next question? Oh, there you go. You beat me to it.
Yeah. Raymond wants to know, do they think CERN might have had anything to do with the increasing in dimension shift?
Probably.
We talk about CERN all the time. I mean, it's just, if you go back and you look either online or even on CERN's site itself, you look up the dates when they turned on and turned off CERN or was doing experiments. All these weird things, whether light in the skies or activities have been happening right when that's been turned on. And you also have to think about the Mandela effect, about timeline switching, and it lines right up with CERN.
Yeah. When they turned on about the first time, I'm pretty sure that's when the Mandela effect started getting weird.
Yeah. The thing is, do we now know when they're turning it on? Are they going to tell us every time? Right.
Probably not.
Switch it on. Let's tell everyone.
So. And it's not the only one. There's several of them around the world. That's not the only CERN.
Yeah. What's the one? Is it New Mexico? Dulce? Is it Dulce?
They're getting ready to build a brand new one that's even bigger than the one that they have now.
Wow.
A lot of universities even have them.
That's 70 miles, isn't it?
And I don't know about the UK and other areas, but in the US, almost every major college, like Ivy League college and those type of, have some kind of atom smasher inside their college. It's not as big as CERN or any, great, doesn't have miles and miles, but they have that technology in almost every university in the US.
Wow. Yeah, we got nothing here. It's boring.
They don't know what they're doing.
We probably got loads over here, but they're just not telling anyone about it.
Probably because the real good ones they're not going to tell us about. They're only going to tell us the ones that aren't really doing things.
Right.
I mean,
the ones that get leaked.
What are they thinking, or how are they going to react? When they're sitting there trying to find the God particle or the source to human life or our universe. I mean, so we have the technology possibly to smash atoms and watch the results and come up with all this data. But when something goes bad or something goes wrong, what plans do they have to correct that or shut it down? I don't think they do. I think stuff has been happening and they go, uh-oh. Now what?
Yeah, right. They're opening up portals and these things are coming in. It could be more cryptid creatures. They can't just say, oops, sorry.
Well, look what happened at Montauk.
Right.
With that, the Montauk Tower. That it was technically the Montauk Beast, whatever it was that came through. Obviously, that's some sort of particle accelerator. And they were chopping the wires and setting them on fire, and they ripped all the power cables out, and it was still running. So whatever they'd brought through that gateway, I think that the energy from that was keeping the system running. And then they literally they had to burn through the wires to stop it being active. And that was an add-on, whatever you want to call it, from MK Ultra, which in turn was from the Philadelphia experiment. So it's all knock on one after the other. So how many more of them?
Backup plans. They just fill concrete and cement down tunnels because they just seal them off. Like they don't have backup plans.
Right.
You just change the name and move it somewhere else. Oh, no one will know.
Well, we heard stories on, I think it would be southeastern Tennessee, that there is a gateway or a stargate that's open, that they opened, and things are coming in. So now they've got guards from the military on the outside shooting whatever is coming in. It's like they opened it and they go, oops, how do we close it?
Yeah, they didn't think that far in front, did they?
So now they got to guard it to make sure these strange things don't come through.
Just like you said, Andy, the energy from the other side could be keeping it open. Even though if we close it down on this side or try to, the energy on the other side's already coming through. So they possibly could have, the dimensional ability to still come through the portal now that we opened it up.
Well, as we all know, a door is two-way, unless there's a brick wall behind it, which then it's not really a door, is it?
But if they're dimensional, that brick wall or our 3D world isn't going to stop them.
No, they're just straight in. You've heard of Huska Castle, haven't you, in the Czech Republic? Please tell me you have. That same sort of thing. They poured cement in and everything because they call it the gateway to hell or the gates to hell. Because it don't even look like a castle. It's more like a prison from like the 1700s. And they've just built this castle around this, giant manhole thing. And there's all this stuff was coming out. They sent a guy down, the ex-prisoner, who's like only in his 20s, his 30s. He was down there for about 10, 15 minutes. When they brought him up, he'd aged about 60 years. His mouth was gaping open and he never spoke. He couldn't talk, just become pretty much a vegetable from that.
Do you think that was radiation?
Don't know. There's just a look on his face. It looked like he was just in complete shock from when they lowered him down and pulled him back out.
You get
Joe's just thought he died a few days later. I didn't remember that bit.
So say it's a portal or an energy coming through. If you experience that much energy at one point in time, I mean, if he was that close to it, I mean, just like in this, not to get religious or anything, but just like in the Bible, when Moses went up and spoke to God or saw God, then he transformed into white
pure
hair
white.
And older.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that much energy, that much force comes on you. I mean, it's going to affect the human body one way or another, just like you said, Nicole, whether it's radiation or some kind of energy or some kind of burst.
And on that note, all ancient civilizations, they use religion to explain scientific things that they didn't understand yet. So like would the story of Moses then be, okay, maybe it was a portal that he got close to,
Mhm.
that, you know,
Yeah.
that aged him and turned him white. You know, he was exposed to something like that. That could be something like that,
Yeah.
you know, that they're attributing to, oh, he saw God. Maybe he didn't see God. Maybe he just encountered a portal.
Right.
Right. It's
Or
some kind
or
of
the
energy, whichever way you want to look at it. It's some kind of
Mhm.
energy that affected him, obviously.
right.
And you
Mhm.
know, and me and Jane are Christians. We grew up our whole lives in the Christian church, and you have to look at the Bible and look at all the supernatural and all the stuff that goes on it. And every story in the Bible, there's something supernatural that happens during the stories.
The talking
Mhm.
burning bush.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, even when you go into the paranormal, you know, the Witch of Endor, you know, that's in the Bible. We have all kinds of supernatural events and stuff that happen. Jesus walking through walls. I mean, that's just like what we were just now talking about. You know, if you
Yeah.
open up the
Yeah.
portal and whatever comes through is
Mhm.
dimensional, and they're going to just walk through our walls and be able to appear wherever they want since we gave them that access.
Mhm.
And I feel like hundreds of years from now, people are going to look back on us and be like, oh, they thought these stories were like literal. They were
Right.
so simple. Just the
Yeah.
same way that we think of, you know, oh, the Greek gods, you know, they thought that they controlled, they prayed and it rained. They thought that's what was happening. No, now we know that it's the water cycle and all of that.
Yeah.
We're gonna know that the supernatural things is really something scientific that we just don't understand yet.
But here's a question for you then. So going back to the Bible, all these different stories and all these different types of phenomena that have been written down and put in there, do you think that at the time, did they get any answers like what we're looking for now? Do you think they investigated, questioned what was going on, or did they just take it as, well, this is happening and there's nothing we can do about it? Because there doesn't seem to be any evidence of any conclusion to what had gone on.
Yeah, I don't really think they investigated as far as we did, but I mean, obviously there was paranormal stuff going on. You know, we had the witches and warlocks and stuff at that time also. So I mean, they obviously summons them and brought forth, you know, stuff from the other side. So they probably had people like us that were awake to it and kind of understood it, but they were kind of shunned away and pushed off to the side. You know, they weren't, especially in Christianity. I mean, you don't mix the two together, even though they did during the Bible, but you just have to read it into it. I don't know if that answered your question or not, but I don't think they necessarily had scientific minds.
No, yeah, I don't.
Like
I'm more just, did they quiz what was going on? They must have been clued up.
I think that's a lot of times when when you're reading the stories where they always attribute it to God or angels or something, you know, that they brought this down or it happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen that way, but also you have to look at it the other way too. I mean,
well, let me go a different angle. You know, since I'm into singing bowls and things like that, singing bowls have been around for thousands and thousands of years. It's not just a new thing. They were not used for musical instruments. They were used for healing and the frequency and the energy. And then we just kind of lost it for so many years, and it's just now coming back. Just like essential oils, they used all that stuff years ago, but then we kind of got away from it and lost it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what I was kind of getting at. Is it did they find out what was going on and then that part of history's been hidden? Or did they just not? Because like I said, there just didn't seem to be any evidence as to what went on.
Right. Well, look at all the cathedrals, especially there where you're at in the UK. Look at all those big cathedrals and the pipe organs and how they're designed and how they echo sound. Yeah. You think that was mainly just for worship? That was for healing. You had
they were healing areas
going through there to heal your body. And even the church bells were supposedly a certain tone that could travel for miles and actually heal the people of the community.
Yeah, because it was all to do with the acoustics, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
And then
That's
they kind
why
of
you see
twisted.
a lot of that disappearing too. You know, they try to say that, you know, the churches and cathedrals and temples were all for worship, and they are, but they also were a healing aspect. They were an energy field, a place for healing the body, mind, and soul. And look at how many bells have disappeared in the steeples and the towers. There's hardly any bells anymore. They're usually electronic or something. So they tried to take away the tone and the resonance from healing people.
What did you guys think about the that emergency broadcast thing that went out? Was it a couple months ago now? Everybody was saying, put away your phones, don't listen to it. It had something to do with like the frequency.
Right.
Going to mess with people.
Well, I didn't want to mess with it. We did turn off our phones, not out of fear, just protection, I guess. You know, what if, in other words. But yeah, we did turn off our phones. I do not trust these tones. You know, they probably know what certain tone can trigger somebody or turn them into a zombie or change their mind. You really don't know what the knowledge that they have behind these tones and frequencies. I didn't trust it.
We know some people that didn't turn off their phones, that nothing had happened to them. So,
right.
I mean, this could have been a widespread rumor to put fear in everybody. Or is it the government testing it and they really didn't activate the signal? They're just waiting for everybody to say, oh, it's no big deal. If nothing happened last time, then in the future, they could really turn it on.
Right.
Yeah. See, mine went off. I was using my phone as a sat nav and I completely forgot about it. And as soon as it started, I just pressed it and cleared it. But then the missus, she was outside of it went off about 45 minutes later. So it didn't even go off at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Like, how pathetic.
Wow.
So, yeah, over here it was pretty naff.
It's interesting, everybody's reaction to it, because I was at work and half the people like had their phones off at work. Some people went in the back, and then like all the customers just had their phones going off.
I mean, it's like everything. It could have been just fear mongering to try to bring something up, but I don't know. Nothing happened to us, and
right. Are we okay to go for a break?
Yes.
Yep. Is that all right? So 3.5 minutes. It is. Done a new break. So hope you guys like it. See you in 3.
All right.
And we are back. Hope y'all like the new break and break music and
Cool
all
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it took me to make that?
How long?
20
Long
minutes. Showing off
20
now.
minutes.
Very
That's
nice.
awesome.
But I knew roughly what I was going to do, so yeah. I just wanted to change it a little bit more laid back music than too much beat.
Yeah,
So,
instead of that creepy guy voice during your breaks.
yeah.
And
Oh, right. So no, do you know what? Nobody knows.
What?
Nobody
So
knows.
you know the intro, and you have that voice. It says, "Welcome to Andy Decodes."
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who does the voiceover for that?
Wild Bill.
No.
Dive deep into the rabbit hole.
Just look underneath you.
Him.
Gerald.
Really?
yeah,
Gerald's done the
I like
voiceovers for me.
Yeah.
I like messing around with different voices, and it just worked out just perfect for Andy.
He
Yeah.
did it.
Yes.
He did it, and he goes, "That's the first one I've ever done." I'm like, "Shut up! That is not the first one." So
Do it.
Nick. Oh, yeah. Nickname saying, "Go on, Gerald, say it."
Yeah. Say it, Gerald.
Come on, just to prove to
I
everyone.
don't know if I can now.
Put you on the spot.
Welcome to Andy Decodes. Let's dig down deeper.
Down into the rabbit hole.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I like practicing different voices. I
Yeah.
used to try to do imitations all the time, but so if anybody needs anything, let me know.
Yeah.
Now the
So
secret's
yeah,
out.
do you know what?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows now.
Yeah.
It was Midwest voice at the beginning.
They'll never
Yes.
know.
And
They'll never know.
there is no editing to that whatsoever. All I've done is split it because you did it in one bit. So I've split
Yeah.
it, put part there, then move the rest over. So thank you, Gerald. Really do
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
I'm glad I could help.
Well, he
Yep.
played it back and he says, "Who's this sound like?" And I'm going, "I don't know." He says, "Me." And I went, "That's not your voice." He said, "Yeah."
You didn't even know.
Yeah, there was no manipulation or anything. That was just my voice going right into the mic. Actually, I did it on my phone.
I would not
with
have
a tablet.
guessed.
I didn't even use a computer.
No. So I thought you'd use some sort of like sound
Mhm.
simulator or amplifier or something. So
Before
Yeah.
we get back into the questions, I am not now. There's water in here. I am sick as a dog right now. This is why I'm chugging
Oh.
water right now.
not
Oh,
wine.
No.
Not
Not
wine.
wine today.
not wine.
No, not
today.
today.
Not today.
Not
Every
today.
other
Nice one, Gandalf.
Yeah, I don't see a Long Island Bigfoot in here calling me Puck Wedgie.
No, it's Brian calling you Gandalf.
Wedgies.
Yeah. I hope you get better soon.
Thanks. Everybody around here is sick. It's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
been
I know
going
a few
around.
people in the
Mhm.
States that have got COVID.
Yeah.
So not so much over it. It's
Everybody.
just crappy colds and flu.
I just call it sniffles.
Well, it's
Yeah.
more than sniffles. Everybody got the flu, the COVID,
Yeah.
stomach bug. Everybody had everything around me, and I work in the pharmacy, so we got everything passing
Wow.
through.
We just take our tinctures and elderberry syrup, and we even mixed up some fire water, which is elderberry and cayenne and
Oh, it's got
tell 'em what's in it, gang.
horseradish, onion, garlic, apple cider vinegar. I mean, it will make your nose hair curl when you take a shot of that stuff.
Nice and
If you're
spicy.
I might need a
sickly, like a
recipe.
flu or cold coming on, you take that. It's like, oh my gosh, it just opens up your sinuses and makes you just feel 100% better.
You can find it online. It's either called Louisiana Fire Cider or Master Tonic, and you can get the recipe. You
All right,
soak
I'm gonna
all
look that
these
up.
vegetables in the apple cider vinegar for several weeks, and then you strain it with a cheesecloth, and you just have that liquid. You just
I
take a
don't have
shot of it.
several weeks
So it works really good.
to make it for the
Sounds
next one.
like it just burns you from the inside
It
out.
does.
There's-
Yeah. I mean,
there's
it is
nothing.
powerful.
There's nothing there to get ill.
and
Yeah.
it never goes bad. I mean, it lasts forever. Once you strain all that out, it lasts forever.
Because it'll burn
Yeah.
any bacteria that tries to form in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
Melt it.
usually take the elderberry syrup. You know, we take little shots of that. You know, and just to keep our immunity and stuff going. And
Yeah.
of course, Quicksilver and stuff like that. So
Yeah, collateral silver, oil of oregano. There's all kinds of things. You just
Smart.
kind of mix this and mix that and have a little witch's brew shot, and it will
I
kill
think
whatever's
I
trying to
think
get
that's
you.
what helps me grow my beard.
We have in the UK buttercup syrup, and that's about as good as it gets.
Buttercup syrup.
Buttercup syrup.
It's
What's
just,
it made
you can
out
buy
of?
it over the. It looks like treacle, but it tastes really nice. You're supposed to have like a little spoon, but I swig it from the bottle. It's more for like coughs and like chesty and tickly coughs and all that.
Okay.
It's gotta be better than cod liver oil that we used to get when we were young.
Ew.
No, I'd rather be ill.
Yeah. I remember being a kid when every time we'd have the sniffles or cold, Grandma would put either a mustard pack on our chest, or my mom and Grandma would both smear methyleptum.
Yep.
Up
Vicks.
the nose and around the cheeks.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Vicks vapor rub. Yeah.
Put it under your eyes.
Yeah.
And go blind for about a week.
Yeah, all the vapors. That's the thing when we use peppermint oil for our headaches and stuff, or sinuses, you know, and that even from the peppermint oil, man, it starts burning your eyes. You got to be careful and don't rub your eyes. And
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like fun. Right.
Sometimes, not always.
Yeah. Right. Go back to the questions. Is that okay?
Let's go.
The next one is from Fred Flintstone, and he's asking, have the Jane and Gerald heard of the Alaskan Fae card in Ukins? Very mischievous by all accounts.
I've never heard of them.
I don't really know anything about them.
Yeah.
That's something new. Probably just like the Faes all over that everybody talks about. I mean, it could be tricksters, but I don't really know what their aspects are or anything they do.
That's a new rabbit hole.
Alaska.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
I've heard of Inukins, but I didn't know there's anything to do with the Fae. I don't know what I thought they were.
Interesting.
It must have been on a podcast or something, but no. That could be a topic for us to cover.
That's a deep dive, because even a quick Google didn't bring it up.
Wow.
Oh,
my nephew lives in Alaska. I'll have to reach out to him and ask him to see what they say about that up there.
Oh, he probably don't believe in any of this stuff.
I don't know. He goes out in the woods a lot. I bet he has some stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna hit the Wikipedia real quick to just tell everybody what it was, but there is no Wikipedia.
Interesting. Wow.
You'll
a new rabbit hole.
The cryptid one.
Yes.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Next question then, Nicole.
Okay, Nickname wants to know, has Jane or Gerald had any other voices, telepathic experiences?
Well, telepathic, yeah. I mean, I am an empath. I sense talking to the animals. I do feel that whatever is out there, if it's Sasquatch or Fae or mushrooms, that I can kind of telepathically talk to them. I'm very sensitive with a lot of intuitive gifts. Now, the outright voice, that only happened that one time. That's the only time I ever heard anything audible. Was that crazy little robot hello. That's the only time I heard anything audible.
Well, you can tell him about my father speaking to you.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I never met his father. He passed away in the late 1980s. And I was mowing his mom's yard at the time. This was quite a few years ago. And it was kind of a private situation. I was very upset with some situations of the condition of the yard and this and that and what I actually had to do just for mowing. So I was either mad or crying every time I would mow over there. So I'm on the riding lawnmower and I'm heading up to the shop, and he came to my mind, and I thought that was kind of weird because I never think of him. I never met the man, but he came to my mind, and I heard him say, "Thank you for taking care of my wife's property." And I just started crying. And I felt him, and I said, "You're welcome, Cliff." And so I mean, it was very odd. Then that night, we're listening to a radio show, and they were talking about intuitive gifts and hearing things from spirits. So Gerald looks over and goes, "Have you heard anything here lately?" And I went, "Oh, great. You just had to ask me that same day." I said, "Yes, your father came through that day." So it don't happen that often, but yeah, I have had very strange things from past relatives or friends. They give me signs.
Yeah.
Comes through when you need it to.
Gerald?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Do you
think
get
it's more
anything like
meaningful that way.
Yeah. I don't go out and say I'm a medium, and I can't come out and say names and dates and this and that, or your grandma Ethel's coming through. I can't do that. This just comes through, at certain times. I guess just for me.
Yeah.
That's good.
Made me tear up.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you okay, bud?
And
You
I do
okay?
sense him around from time to time. He liked chickens, and we have his grapevines that we rescued and saved because his mother kept mowing them over. She didn't want the grapevines. So we finally saw him grow out a little bit. So we were, all right, let's dig him up. So we've got 2 of his grapevines here. And so, yeah, I do sense him around, but that was definitely a very special moment. And it was, why would he pop in my mind out of no reason?
Mm-hmm.
And what I heard, it touched me big time.
Yeah. No, thank you.
And it might not have been, as meaningful if you heard voices clear as day all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just letting me know that, even though I felt like I wasn't appreciated for what I was doing over at her house, he let me know that he greatly appreciated me taking care of his place. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
you're crying, Gerald.
Well, that's happy.
You okay? Good. Good. All right. Next question then. And this is from Griff. And he's asking, Jane and Gerald, how does Clyde and the gang react to everything? I'm guessing these are your dogs.
Clyde
Actually, those are our goats.
Clyde is our giant. Yeah, he's our giant goat. He's about the size of a miniature donkey.
Wow.
Honestly, yeah, I should say that when I had activity out in the barns, this was a year ago, last fall. The activity is not happening now, but last fall when the lights would flicker on and off, I knew something was out there. There was several times that I'd go out to feed the goats, and they're staring off in the corner of the barn, and they're staring and looking like something was over there. And normally, I mean, when I've got their food, they just want their food. They're knocking the bucket out of the way, and all they want is their food. And I was thinking, Clyde, what is the matter? And they're both looking over there. I went over to that area and I saw nothing. It could have been a skunk, something like that. But skunks normally don't wake up until it's dark. So I'm not sure if they were picking up on something. So like I said, this summer, after we got the 3 baby goats, the activity just stopped. The lights stopped flickering. I don't even feel a presence out there. I could just feel like there's something out there. Yeah. Now, I did talk to someone, which is Robin McCrae, and she said that the Sasquatch liked hanging out in the barn, and they liked my chicken eggs. And to make sure that they I have to specify, don't take all of my eggs. Always leave me a few.
Yeah.
But, like I said, the activity stopped since like last June, and, the barn seems real peaceful now.
Our cats are the ones that freak me out because all of a sudden they'll just be staring off into space or the ceiling or the corner of the room when nothing's going on. They're just sitting there like watching.
Like what is that? That's spooky.
Yeah. Did you have a problem with something stealing your eggs?
There was times that I would have very few eggs. Yes. And she said that there was times that they would take all of her eggs. So she finally had to come out and say, you leave me 4 or 5 of them. So that's what I did. There for a while, I was getting no eggs for a few weeks. So I specified, please leave me a few. Well, I would have like 2, 3 a day. Yeah. And then the activity stopped. Now I get like 6 to 12 a day. It don't matter now.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the lights are staying on now. I'm not sure what was going on. There's 3 different lights that were interacting like a REM pod. They would go off over there by my feed where all my garbage cans are. That light above me would flicker on and off. Or I would leave and say, "Good night, boys. I love you." Then the light over there by the door would flicker like it was saying, "Good night. We love you too." It's like, okay. But then all of a sudden it just stopped.
The thing with either paranormal or cryptids or whatever, if you're vocally talking to them, you have to be really specific on what you're talking about. You can't just give them an open-ended, like, okay, go ahead and take some eggs if you want.
Yeah, they'll take all.
They'll take whatever they want. You have to let them know, okay, you can have some, you can leave us 5 or leave us a dozen, or because they don't know what your intentions are necessarily, and you're giving them the wide open invitation to do whatever they want.
And I even talked to them about the lights. If if there's too many lights flickering on and off and they would kind of dim down low, I'd say, "Please turn the light back on. I cannot see. Please turn the light back on." And then it would kind of flicker and go back on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They wouldn't dim down. They wouldn't turn off. Huh?
Have you thought of setting any cameras up in the barn, or like a trail cam or something?
Well, that was before we got cameras. So, we actually have 2 cameras out there now watching the goats.
Yeah.
But during that time, we didn't have cameras during that time.
No. Would you not put one in the barn itself rather than on the outside?
They are in the barn. 2 of them.
Yeah, we got 2. Yeah, we've got 2 in the barn now. Yeah.
And it's not picked anything up since.
Not now. No, not since we got the baby goats. Last June, all the activity kind of stopped.
Right.
And I even told them, I said, "We're going to get baby goats here in a couple of days." I said, "I hope you kind of, enjoy them." Well, all the lights were flickering, but once we got baby goats, it was a few days later, those 3 light bulbs, they didn't go off like they blew out. They all 3 dimmed down, and they would not power up strong. They just dimmed down. And I told Carol, I said, "I cannot see out here." So we replaced all those light bulbs. And nothing is, everything works fine. I don't understand. I mean, it's not like they blew out. They just dimmed down, like they lost their power.
Weird.
Oh.
And so he replaced the light bulbs. We haven't had anything ever since. I don't know if they were scared of the baby goats. I really don't know. But ever since we got the 3 baby goats, the activity is gone out in the barn.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just trying to be respectful. They don't want to scare the baby goats.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, Nicole. Yes, that's what I was thinking.
So
how when you get pets, they instinctively know.
This summer and what's going on. I mean, it obviously changed the energy in the barn, adding 3 new baby goats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't explain any of this. I mean, I really wish I had more answers. We're just having fun with all these adventures.
Best way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to do that one? Yep.
So, Daryl and Jane, have you ever seen a ghost? Castle Dude wants to know.
No, I have never seen anything physical of a mist or appearance. I just sensed them. Shortly after my mom passed, I would see like a little. Oh, how do I explain it? Like a little bright, just like a light turning on, or like a little flicker, in the room. Yeah. And, I sense they're either leaving or coming, but actually seeing a ghost, no. Now, Garrow experienced something weird when he was a child, but I don't think it was a ghost. I honestly think it was a screen memory. I still think you were abducted that day, honestly. But yeah, I'll have him share his little jester story.
Well, before I go into the jester story, I'll say that I haven't seen an apparition or anything, but 2 times in my life, I have seen a physical person that I was with. When I looked at them, they were not the same person that I was talking to or with. Just for that split moment, while I look over and talk to them, it's like, that's not person is not who I have with me. That's something else. So I turn away or jerk or whatever, then look back, then everything will be back to normal. 2 times that's happened to me.
Oh.
Wow. I didn't know that.
That's
We're all
strange.
learning stuff.
Yep.
That is very
Both times they were somebody I was involved with or a friendship with, and whatever was there at that particular moment in time was not nice. It was like an evil, demonic kind of presence, and then it was gone just as fast as it came.
Is it kind of like they shape shifted a little bit, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the physical. I mean, I know the person was there because like one of them was a girlfriend, and we were going out on a date. And when I turned over to talk to her, we were having a conversation. I turned over to look at her to give her eye contact, and that was not my girlfriend, whoever that was. And then when I freaked out and went back and looked at the road while I was driving, then the next time I looked at her, it was just her again. It was normal, just like nothing ever happened. She didn't know anything going on or felt anything or.
That's not your ex-wife.
Wrong, though.
That's not your ex-wife, is it?
No.
Wow.
Anyway, the jester. I mean, I don't want to leave you guys hanging. But when I was a kid, a toddler, Dad was just building our house, so the basement was finished for us to live in, and they were working on the upstairs portion of the house. There's a ranch house, so it was a basement and an upstairs.
Yeah.
Ground level. So we lived down there. We had a kitchen and bedrooms and a living room and stuff, set up. So for whatever reason, I can't remember what age I was, but I always remember being in the crib right next to Mom and Dad's bed, just a little ways off. And my hand went through the slots of the rails that were up to keep me from rolling out. And something grabbed a hold of my hand. Ooh. And I remember looking over the side of the bed, and it was a little tiny jester, just like you'd see in the old King Arthur movies or whatever. It was the whole outfit, from the hat with the jingle bells on it and the stripes and ruffled cuffs. And we didn't speak. We didn't say anything. I didn't feel really necessarily afraid when it grabbed my hand when I first looked at it. But then all of a sudden, I don't know if I woke up from a dream or all of a sudden I realized, okay, this little thing actually grabbed my hand, and I started crying and screaming, and Mom came pick me up. But I was so young, I couldn't communicate it to anybody, but it's still very visible in my mind. I can see it right now as I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
I think it's a screen memory. I honestly think it was a little gray or something, and it was a screen memory showing him that it was a jester.
Yeah. Something that you can relate to.
Yeah. Or like, oh, look, this is funny. This is not scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
Do you only remember it happening the once? Or was it multiple times?
Just the one time. That's the only time anything like that's ever happened to me, as far as I know, like that.
See, that in itself is weird, but that paired with the thing where, the person wasn't the person.
Right.
Yeah.
That adds layers to it. It's almost like you have, somebody watching you, or somebody, kind of popping into your life during different stages.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's happened, like I said, I was a toddler, a little older, and then the next time was in high school, and then the next time was right before I met Jane. So it was quite a few years in between each incident.
Yeah.
So Nickname wants to know, would you have regression?
Dennis? I don't think I ever want to go under regression. I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's all happened, or I don't really have that question, have I been abducted? I don't feel that I've ever been abducted or I had anything like that, but it's just not a question that I need answered. I'm happy the way I am. And
yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, some people just don't want to know.
Right. And where would you go? You need to find someone that you can really trust and rely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It's finding the right person to do it,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah. You have a hard time trusting people these days.
Yep. Right. Sorry. I was just checking the chat, see if there's any more questions coming through. Right. Next one is from Baby with a Laser, and he's asking, Gerald, couple of nice guitars in the background.
Oh.
Any chance of a
Oh,
tune?
not,
I thought he
not
said
today.
nice gits, but you meant
I'm
guitars.
downstairs, which we call our music studio, and this is where Jane makes all of her music and soundtracks and stuff that she has on her channel, Chi-Rho Sounds, on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I can play guitar, I can play drums. Not very good on keyboard, but Jane plays all the instruments.
Cool. I can't play anything.
I have a keyboard back there. That was
Yep.
my daughter's Christmas gift.
Yeah,
Well,
you can see the keyboard right above his head. Yeah, there's a keyboard, two hand pans, there's tongue drums. I got Jamaican drum.
Oh, here,
There's just all kinds of stuff.
I can
Sound
play
instruments.
the first line. I lied. I can play the first line of Silent Night on a keyboard. That's it. That is all I've got.
we have steel drums, we have guitars, keyboards, all kinds of instruments, and Jane is the one that does all the awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I can play the Black Parade.
So we probably have 7 or 8 guitars and all kinds of. Jane has like 60 singing bowls, and we have like 3 keyboards and
all kinds of sound instruments. I have a loop station that I make my own background tracks. So you can do tambourine, bells, and this and this and that. And it just keeps looping, and then you can play to it.
Tell you what, then, because you two are coming on the 25-hour live stream, how would you feel about coming on and doing a little bit of your own music?
Ooh, that
oh.
sounds.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we've been messing around with the microphone because for some reason these mics want to cut everything out. You know, if I'm hitting a singing bowl, the mic's been cutting it out. Now, Gerald did figure out on his microphone, you know, the noise resistance or something like that. And we were doing it one night and it was working pretty well.
So we could possibly do a little song, or maybe we could even create a video beforehand so you can play.
Yeah.
But,
that'd be great.
Okay.
Do you have condenser mics like this sort, like what me and Nicole have got?
Yeah, the one I'm using right now is an Elgato, and if I take off the noise cancellation and background noise reduction, it'll pick up the instruments across the room. So we just have to do that ahead of time.
Now, what I don't understand is when I make music videos, I just use my tablet or my phone, and everything sounds beautiful. But if I'm on StreamYard, even though we're messing with the sound mics, that we cannot get the mic to stop breaking up.
I think it's something to do with the system that StreamYard's using.
Yeah,
it's got to be all the back, because there's a setting on the mic bit where it cuts out background noise. I always cut that because of the traffic at the back.
But if I do a regular video, I can hit my gong real loud or singing bowls. It does not interfere with the sound when I'm making a video. It's just when I'm live.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I figured out the other day, if I turn off the noise cancellation, the background, and the volume equalizer, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully we can sort something out because it's only 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
I got this mic for Christmas. I plugged it in. It works.
Yeah, I'm just using a tablet.
That sounds pretty good.
That's the extent. Next on my list is a webcam.
Cheap ones on eBay. I think I paid like £8 for one. I've got 2 because I've got a spare one because you never know.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're pretty good. I think they're pretty good anyway. They do the job. So that's all you need. Right.
Yep.
This is what you
next
people
couple-
came for, tech talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tech Talk Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I grew up dealing with electronics and taking stuff apart and putting it together. And for some reason, electronics, computers, and stuff this come to me naturally. I don't know why, but so if anybody has any questions, reach out to us. Well, I'll try to help.
Cool. Thank you for that. Right. Got another couple of questions because we just come up to the hour and a half mark. So this is from Blue Shift. He's asking, question for all, what is the link with berries? Is it because we are stealing their food? What's the link with berry?
Are you talking about berry bushes in the woods? Yeah, people say don't pick berries in the woods. Is that what he's talking about?
Oh, I think he's with Bigfoot and Sasquatch.
Right, and Fae elementals, yeah, they're known to be around berry bushes in the woods, and don't pick berries in the woods.
Yeah, we just saw somebody say that the other day in the chat that they had a bad experience when they were picking berries.
Yeah.
Growing up on Grandma's farm as a kid, we'd always go out and pick the blueberries and the raspberries and stuff, and we never ever had any problems. But we have grapes and berries, we have gooseberries and some other things here and raspberries. We have here on our property, but we haven't really ever experienced anything. But we're pretty open and vocal that we want to share with anything that's in our area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No, that's two things I've learned today.
We learn a lot on this podcast or live stream or whatever you want to call it.
I just have to now start remembering what I've learned. That's a difficult
that's
bit.
the thing.
Rewatch the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can't watch them back. No offense to you guys, I just can't do it.
Right.
I did it at the beginning just to check the audio quality, but now I can't. Just don't do it.
Why are goats associated with demonic or dark entities? Castle Dude wants to know.
I think the Bible talks about sheep and goats and make it sound like the goats is on the bad side. But to me, my goats are so gentle and sweet. I mean, I'd rather have a goat than a sheep. Sheep are dumb. They don't interact with you. Goats are so intelligent and smart. The only thing I can answer that is it just seems like the Bible always says goats are, like an escape goat. So I don't know. I don't know why.
I think
or
it's
goat man.
imagery.
Or goat man. That's kind of creepy.
I think it's the imagery of a goat has the sideways eyes where the pupils are sideways and it kind of looks weird, and they have horns. I mean, so obviously you kind of think of the devil or whatever when you. So I mean, it's obviously you can change that to something scary looking, a goat, if you want.
And I know goats can be mean, and you see videos of them coming up and ramming someone. I've never had my goats do that from behind. I mean, they've always been so sweet to me.
Didn't it have something to do with them wanting to demonize the pagan gods?
Well, yeah, I think just like Susie B just said in chat, the Pan was a half human, half goat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it had something to do with that, if I remember correctly. Like a lot of the really digging on the demon goats was the pagan symbolism of the goats.
You go back. That's sad. Even going back to Egyptian, you have the gods that they worship. Whether it was birds, half a bird head on a man's body or a dog head on a man's body. I mean, they had all that too going on. And then you go into the mythological and the Greek and everything, and you have like the Sagittarius. You have the Minotaurs, and you have all the mixed animals with humans and.
Yeah, well, I've got a figure of. I can't get to it, but I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, yeah. They gave a goat a bad name.
So that's got wings and obviously the pentacle the right way up.
So like everything else, I think the the goat, and God, they both start with a letter G, so it's easy to switch those two terms around, one good, one evil. And then I think you get into Aleister Crowley and the demonic side of it. I think that the groups have just adopted the goat as their symbol, something scary, and there might be more to it than that. I don't know. We don't really go down to the demonic side looking at stuff, but
no.
But I'm not scared of goats. I think they're cute. I don't look at them and think they're demonic, even though they have creepy eyes.
You got to get a Ghostbuster shirt that says, "I ain't afraid of no goats."
I ain't afraid of no goats.
Yeah, I thought that's what I thought straight away.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't afraid of no goats.
That's pretty cool, that. Right.
I have a T-shirt that says that, actually, because since I'm a Chicago Cubs fan and the old curse of the goat.
I have no idea.
Andy probably don't know about that.
Nope.
Not got a clue.
Well, I'll give you a small rendition of it. That a Cubs fan, a guy would come in and have his goat on a leash, and he got kicked out of the park because he couldn't have his goat in there no more. And he said, "You guys will never win a World Series for this."
Oh.
Why would you bring
a lot of years that the Chicago Cubs never won a series.
It's like they put a curse on them.
The year that they actually won, I got a T-shirt that says, "We ain't afraid of no goats."
I forgot you had that T-shirt.
You could have wore it.
Yeah, I should have.
Yeah. Right. Last question. So this is from Ogata, and she's asking, Jane, have you or Gerald ever had a premonition?
Daryl, you want to go first?
The only premonitions I've ever had is one time me and my best friend in high school, we're in his car. He had a Camaro, and we were cruising in his town. And we were teenagers, and we were just out riding around one weekend. And there's a big curve in this town where you can't see the other side, what oncoming traffic is. And for whatever reason, I said, "Hey, man, you better slow down. There's a cop coming." He goes, "What?" I said, "Just slow down. There's a cop coming." As soon as he slowed down, a cop came around that corner on that main road. And that's really the only time I've ever, for whatever reason, just said, "Hey, there's a cop coming." I don't know why. I don't know how it came to me, but it happened.
It's got to be ASP, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've had little things like that, but an actual premonition, my father and my brother, mainly my brother, would have very strong visual premonitions. He would see like an accident happening, and one time it did involve my mother. And he called her up and he says, "Mom, were you close to an accident this last week?" And she went, "Yeah." "How'd you know?" And he says, "Well, was it on such and such road? And was it a such and such car? The color?" And she went, "Yes." And she said, "I slammed on my brakes and I missed them." And so it did happen a few different times with my brother, but then the giftings kind of scared him, so he kind of closed them off.
Oh.
So I've never experienced like a visual premonition like he did, but I do have a lot of giftings and just sense things.
Yeah. So I get quite a bit of thinking about it, a bit of ESP. So it's like when Gerald said that he knew that there's a cop car coming.
Right.
I get little things like that. It's like I know when something's going to happen. Nothing major, just like little things here and there, but that's about it.
Now, the only other thing that happens to me, and I don't know where it comes from, but like me and Jane will be talking about something, or out of the blue, I'll just say something, I think this happens, or this is what's going on. It's like it's a download or some kind of information comes to me, and Jane goes, "Well, where'd you get that from?" I said, "I don't know. I just thought of it. It just popped into my head."
Right. Yeah. And I'll know things about people. I can read people, and I just know things like they've gone through this or, experienced abuse. How I know, I don't know. It's like a gift of knowledge that I pick up, and I know things about people.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it.
Do you have anything like that, Nicole?
Oh, yeah, it happens. Like, it's like gut feeling when you just, somebody new starts to work and you're like, "Oh, they're not going to work out." Well, why?
Yeah.
Just because they're not.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not going to make it a week.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do, you make sure they don't make it too.
No.
I like what
No.
Castle Dude just said in chat. Neil, deja vu.
Deja
I
vu.
miss that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cute,
There you
Neil. I'm still not
Yes, I
used to
don't
these
know if
new
I've really
names.
ever had a premonition
No.
necessarily, or even an omen or anything of bad or anything coming on, but every once in a while this stuff will just come to me and I don't know where it comes from, and it's not like I've studied it or read
Right.
about it, or it just all of a sudden it's there. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody has those feelings. It's just whether or not you choose to like tune into them and listen to them and trust
Yeah.
your
Right.
gut.
right.
Or turn it off like my brother. Yeah, my brother
Mhm.
didn't want these gifts and he wanted to turn them off.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that, and if you look at Jane's logo that we made, it's raise your vibrations. We're always constantly trying to raise our vibrations or reach our higher consciousness, however you want to look at it. And
Stay positive.
we actively try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always goes back to vibrations and frequencies.
It is.
Energy.
The higher the frequency.
Mm-hmm. Everything is energy.
Yeah.
And we've been told multiple times that's why we have activity around our house or our field behind us, that me and Jane's vibration and frequencies is like a beacon in the dark to these people, or the little people, phase, Sasquatch, whatever it may be, and they're just drawn to us for some reason. And personally, I don't know. I don't necessarily feel that, but I can tell that me and Jane are raising our vibrations. I can tell just little things change from day to day or week to week or whatever. It's like, oh.
It also may be too that you guys are more in tune to it, where somebody else may be living there and having all this stuff going around them all the time and not notice it at all.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just oblivious to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is possible, but just
it just goes back to our previous conversation. Whether we're piercing the veil or the veil's getting thin, or is the earth changing its resonance?
Yeah,
or a combination of all of them.
Right.
Yeah. Now we're just circling around back to the same.
Yeah. Or could it just be the two just blending into each other and all becoming one? So I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know. Yeah.
I like the Beach Boys.
Before. Yeah.
Good vibrations.
Right. We have come to the end of the show, unfortunately. But you are back in a couple of weeks. So it's all good.
We'll be back in a few weeks for your 24, 25, whatever it is, hour show.
A whole lot of hours.
A whole lot of hours.
Are you going to be awake for all of it, Andy?
I'm going to say yeah.
But probably
that's
not.
a lot of coffee. A lot
of coffee. He's going to see him at his desk like this.
I'm off work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I'm off the Thursday. So I'm going to sleep as much as I can during the day up until the point where I've got to get up and start getting things ready. Then I'm doing the Thursday, Friday. Then the Saturday, it's my birthday and we're all going out for a meal. The Sunday, we're going to a comedy gig. And then I'm off work the Monday, and I'm just going to sleep. That is all I'm doing is sleeping. I might have to have the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off as well at this rate, but I might be all right.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, you guys going to be on as well, so it's going to make it a lot easier. So.
Yep,
yeah, you can have a 2-hour power nap while we're on.
Yeah, well, what I was going to do, so where it's 2 hours or 1 hour with each of the guests, I'll just do an update quickly now. As we're coming up to the end of that, so I'm going to finish it, like, say 1 hour 50 into it, it'll give me 10 minutes. So if I need to use the bathroom, go and get a drink, grab something to eat, I can do that then. So I'll get a 10-minute break every 2 hours. So I think I can do that. I'll see. There's only one way to find out, isn't there?
Sure.
Yeah, then you got to
We're-
cut out
yeah,
the
but-
We're
time.
game for anything, so we'll go as long as you need us or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. I sent you the list of everyone who's coming on, didn't I, on the times?
Yep.
I've done the time frame of it all. But yeah, so with the names at the bottom, what I'm going to do is filter that properly and then do a solid timesheet, and then I'd put it out on here as well, so they can see who's coming on and at what time. Yeah. If only. I won't read that out. That's where I get shut down.
Yeah, because I said the key to you getting your breaks is getting your guests, ending on time, which you never do.
Oh.
No, it doesn't matter how hard I try, it doesn't happen.
Nope.
Never. I don't think I've done it yet. The
No?
nearest I've got is like 2 hours, 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, right.
Well, we
so,
had one guest come on, and she said, "Well, I could probably just do an hour." She said, "I'll
Yeah.
fill in for." It ended up being a 2.5-hour show. She wouldn't stop talking. It was great.
we thought she was on a time limit and only had a certain amount of time
Yeah.
to talk, and then she just kept going and going. It's like, all right, let's just roll with it.
We had one of those that she had like a time limit, and like she was doing the eyes, the woman eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Yes.
I was like, well, we
But
were
I
having
didn't.
fun.
I didn't pick up on it because, I just didn't.
Because men don't. Jane, the woman eyes, like.
Yeah. Like, Oh yeah, Gerald knows those eyes.
Oh yeah.
He knows that look.
Yeah.
I know that look from certain people, but if I don't really know the person, it's like I just carry on, keep going. Yeah. Oh, right. So coming up over the next couple of weeks, there's been a bit of a change of guests and everything. So next Wednesday, we've got Graham Phillips. That's a guy who was talking about Doggerland, historian. He's going to be talking about some paranormal encounters that he's had.
Nice.
Then on next Friday, we've got Dominic Zenden. He's coming out. If he does spirituality, without looking at what he sent me, I'm not 100%. Then a week on Sunday, the 14th, fingers crossed, we've got Paul Bartholomew coming back on. Hopefully,
nice.
his internet isn't going to go down. So that's going to be, I think I said 5 p.m. UK time. So that's 12 midday your time. EST. It's either 4 or 5, so it's either 11 or 12. I can't remember. Then on the Wednesday the 17th, we've got Debs Shakti Buller coming on. I hope I've pronounced the name right. Probably not. She's going to be talking about quite a lot of the paranormal stuff. Then 2 weeks on Friday, we have Nathaniel Gillis coming back on.
Oh.
So he's a guy who's doing the demonologist. He's coming over in February to do the Minicon Awakening with Steve Mera, Paul Sinclair, the Kinsellas, and everyone else that's coming on. And then the day before the 25-hour podcast, we've got Neil Geddes Ward. Now, Neil knows Kate Hair Girl Ray, who was on last week, who was talking about fairies.
Oh.
So they know each other.
That'll be good.
Cool.
Then it's a 25-hour, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. I've made no plans. I've just shut everything down.
Yeah.
Oh, so there'll be stuff happening, and in the meantime, the YouTube, the website's going to get a bit of a revamp with the paranormal. What was I going to call it?
Blog. Is that what
paranormal blog? Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I've not got a name for it yet.
We'll come up with a better name.
Yeah.
Might have to do a voiceover for it.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually need a voiceover for the 24-hour one.
All right.
Oh.
That's just a trailer. I need to do the proper intro video for it, which I'm going to be starting work on tomorrow. That's going to take me a couple of weeks to do that, to get it all exactly how I want it. So, yes.
So
but then sorry?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, going forward, we're cutting down on the guests that are coming on, and we're going to do more of a round table. We're still going to have guests, but say you two guys come on, we're just going to have, like, all the questions are going to be aimed at all of us, not just for you two. So it's going to be more of a round table. So we're going to be doing that. So when Nathaniel comes on, he doesn't know yet. If he's watching this, he'll find out. If not, I'll message him in a minute. We need people in the chat to give us all a subject to talk about. So one for me, one for Nicole, one for Tommy, one for Nathaniel.
Hmm.
So we've got to have 2 weeks then to do some research.
Cool.
So yeah, if you can let us know on Wednesday's show, if you don't do it now, have a think about what topics we can talk about that not a lot of people cover, and then bang it on there on Wednesday, and we'll see how it goes. So that's it. That's all I've got.
All right.
Anyone want to add anything before we finish off?
Yeah, I want to know.
Any projects?
I just want to know what Nicole's squeezing. Is that a poor bird that you're making squawk?
What am I squeezing?
Do you have a bird or something that you're poking?
I don't know where the bird's coming from.
Yeah, I keep hearing a squawk. Do you have a bird?
Oh, it's my dog out.
Oh, it's your dog. It sounds like a parrot.
No, it's my dog fighting out in the hallway. I keep muting.
Okay. It sounded like a bird that you were poking and it was squawking at you. Okay, so the dog.
It's the dogs.
Yeah.
All right.
I see a hand.
And a hand. Yeah.
You see a hand behind you.
Does it change to an orb?
Hi.
Well, I was just going to mention that if anybody wants to come over and join us on Midwest Night Watchers this Sunday at 6 p.m. Central, we are going to have Professor Robert Bauer, and we're going to be talking a continuation. This is going to be the second part to vibrations and frequencies and the collective consciousness.
Or is it Bowen?
Oh, nice.
We always get his last name wrong.
No, it's Bauer.
It's Bauer, not Bowen. Okay, Bauer. Yeah. Well, just say Professor. Yeah, we got the professor back talking about frequencies and vibrations.
Awesome.
Oh, cool. What time's that?
That'll be 6 p.m. Central, our time, on Sunday evening.
So early hours Monday morning for me.
Yeah.
Overnight for you.
Yeah, midnight. Yeah.
Watch it on the replay.
I'll try and stay awake. I do try and get in now, and I do actually get in now and again. And if I'm just there for 10 minutes, I'll just come in and say hello and show some support. But then I start drifting off because I've got to get up for work at stupid o'clock. So I do apologise. And like I said before we went live, just need to get rid of the time zones, and it's same time across the planet. No,
well, a lot of times when we do
much easier.
We do our night owl lounge. We're up till like 3 o'clock in the morning for us. All you UK people are waking up. And so they're just filling our chats and good morning, good morning, good morning. Because they're all waking up during that time.
Yeah.
And even here in the US, when we book guests or whatever, it's like we always got to go back and forth. Okay, what time is it? Okay, 6 p.m. Central. Okay, what is it? Mountain Pacific? What is it? Eastern? It's like, oh my gosh, I can't even keep those straight.
And then you got daylight savings time, which throws another wrench in things.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Twice in 1 week. Don't even go there. Yeah. That messed me up. That really messed me up. Because when I was I'll just tell you quick, when I was in the States, daylight saving time, and then I came, because I was there for 10 days. When I came back, 3 days later, I got daylight saving time in the UK, as well as 6 hours of jet lag. Just completely thrown out. Didn't even know who it was, let alone what day it was. That was bad. Right, I'm going to have to go. We are at literally the 2 hour mark.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone in the chat, all the new ones, all the new subs, new members. If you do change your name as well, can you put AKA and who you was known before that? Because we have no idea who half of you are anymore.
Yeah,
I just think it's a load of new people and it's just name change.
The BSC is Brian with a Y. We
Yeah.
all know Brian, so that's his new name.
Castle
Neil,
Dude is Neil.
yeah, Neil changed to Castle Dude.
Yeah. And I'm not sure about anyone else.
Rocky is no. Yeah, the NO, no, that used to be a Rocky.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Anne Hollowell, she's a new sub. Thank you. So yeah, it's all good. Right. Now we're up to
Now
date
we're
on
all
that.
acquainted.
Yes.
Yep.
All good. Right, I'm going to end it. Please do enjoy the outro video. It's an updated version of what was on last week. So have a wonderful 4 days and we'll see you next Wednesday. So take care, everyone. Thanks for watching and goodbye.
Bye.
Love and peace, everybody. Keep looking
Love
up.
you.
Peace out.